leader in MMA. Experience it on Fox Sports 1.
Welcome to Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. The city hosts the Summer Olympics next year, but tomorrow the country's second largest city hosts a night of fights you won't want to miss. And there's our main event now. One of the best jiu-jitsu artists in the entire world, Demian Maia, defends his home country against undefeated New Yorker Ryan LaFlare. The Fox Sports 1 UFC Fight Night weigh-in show starts now. They are in Brazil. We are in Los Angeles at the Fox Sports Studios. I'm Karen Bryant, next to former top UFC middleweight Brian Stann and former bantamweight champion Dominic Cruz. And folks, it just became official. Ronda Rousey will defend her UFC title for a sixth time against Bethe Correia at UFC 190 in Rio de Janeiro. And guys, Correia already beat 2 of the 4 horsewomen, but can she take out the leader?
Well, I think she's going to have a really difficult time beating a third of the 4 horsewomen. But hey, look, this is like old school, playground fights. You beat up my friend, and now I want to beat you up. This is a fight that Ronda Rousey's wanted for a long time. Every time Bethe Correia has won, she's put up her fingers like this. Every time she's beat one around with these teammates, and she's counted them down. So this is something that Ronda, our champion, is salivating at the opportunity for. And Bethe seems very willing, wants to do the same.
I know this fight's going to be fun to watch just because the press conference I was pretty interested in. I mean, you got Ronda Rousey there, Conor McGregor there. They're in Brazil. Both those two have no problem speaking their mind. And then we know Brazil has no problem speaking their mind. So I think if the press conference could be fun to watch, how much better could the fight be?
It's great. And I love that it's taking place in Brazil. I think it's going to be interesting to see Ronda fight down there. Well, let's get back to today's weigh-in. Brian, the welterweight division, of course, seen its fair share of undefeated prospects come and go. Tomorrow night, though, Demian Maia, a huge test for Ryan LaFlare.
And undoubtedly the biggest test of Ryan LaFlare's career. Demian Maia, he's known, obviously, as one of the best Brazilian jiu-jitsu competitors ever to convert over to mixed martial arts. But he's a pretty well-rounded guy now. He's developed his ground game with his strikes, his top control, and evolved for mixed martial arts. But the big fight experience he brings to the table. This is the first time LaFlare's in a main event. Demian Maia's fought for the title before. This is in Brazil. He brings some massive mental advantages into this game.
The primer for Ryan LaFlare's, the primer for Ryan LaFlare's, style is his wrestling and his pace, the fact that he's always willing to go first, and the fact that he takes risks. All those things together make him somebody that's very hard to deal with. He's always in your face. He's always pushing you back. He's switching directions. He's hard to hit, hard to do damage to. He shoots at the right times. And like I said, he never gets tired. So this guy is going to be tough for Demian Maia to beat. Everything about his style will give Demian Maia problems. And I think both these guys are each other's Achilles heel for one another.
I do quickly want to hear what you think about Josh Koscheck. Only 3 weeks since he fought Jake Ellenberger. He's going in the co-main event against Erick Silva.
I'll make it quick for this one. I think Erick Silva brings everything to the table to make it a hard fight for Koscheck, but Koscheck brings that wrestling, and that has been a problem for Erick Silva anytime he's lost.
Well, the whole reason we are here is to make these bouts official at the weigh-in. We're going to head down to Brazil, where Hodges Lima is your master of ceremonies.
Salve, salve, Rio de Janeiro! Hello, everybody around the world! Vamos à pesagem oficial do UFC Maia versus LaFlare. Aqui estão os responsáveis por mais uma edição do UFC no Brasil. Mr. Dana White, presidente do UFC, Mr. Lawrence, as nossas ring girls, Camila Oliveira, Jenny Andrade, Luciana Andrade. E vamos lá! Vamos para a pesagem da primeira luta. No card preliminar que você acompanha também no UFC Fight Pass. Divisão dos moscas, Flyweight Division. Vão se enfrentar Bentley, SYLER e FREDY Serrano. O primeiro a caminhar para a balança, the first on the scale is Mr. FREDY El Profe Serrano.
Tomorrow night, it's a welterweight doubleheader as UFC veteran Demian Maia looks to shut down undefeated Ryan LaFlare. Plus, Erick Silva takes on Josh Koscheck at 10 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1.
56.7 quilos, 56 quilos e 700 gramas para Fred Serrano. E vem aí o seu adversário, and his opponent, Bentley, Dr. Bolivia SYLER.
Bentley SYLER, or Dr. Bolivia as he's known, earned a medical degree but decided to put his career as a doctor on hold to pursue his dream of fighting. He was on The Ultimate Fighter Latin America, and this once bullied boy is now living his UFC dream.
$126, 57.1 quilos, 57 quilos e 100 gramas para Bentley SYLER. Aí está, portanto, confirmada a primeira luta, divisão dos moscas. Fred Serrano e Bentley SYLER. Dando sequência, vamos para a pesagem da segunda luta do card preliminar. Divisão dos leves. Vão se enfrentar Jorge de Oliveira e Christos Giagos. O primeiro a caminhar para a balança, the first on the scale is Mr. Christos, the Spartan Giagos.
Tomorrow, it's Xfinity Series racing live from Fontana with the DriveForClots.com 300 at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
$155, 70.3 quilos para Mr. Christos Giagos. Vem aí o seu adversário. His opponent, Jorge de Oliveira.
Oliveira coming in to make his second appearance in the octagon. In his first fight, he actually took a fight on very short notice at a weight class above where he normally fights against Diego Lima. And at 170 pounds, Oliveira just didn't have the size and the strength to deal with guys. Now at 155, we'll be able to see him showcase his professional kickboxing skills.
Essa luta você também acompanha no UFC Fight Pass. Rapidamente, uma salva de palmas para Mr.
Welcome back to Los Angeles. The next four bouts can be seen on Fox Sports 2. Coming up to the scale, Cain Carrizosa and Leonardo Mafra. Carrizosa up first.
O primeiro a caminhar para a balança, the first on the scale is Mr. Cain, the Insane Carrizosa.
Cain Carrizosa started training in 2009 and has been a pro since 2011. So you know he's working his way through the UFC slowly but surely. At the same time, he's studying for a bachelor's in kinesiology, so you know he brings a great work ethic to the table.
$155, 70.3 quilos para Cain Carrizosa, 70 quilos e 300 gramas. Vem aí o seu adversário, and his opponent, Leonardo Macarrão Mafra.
Sunday, it's the Auto Club 400, sponsored by KFC at 3 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox, and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
Quilos, 70 quilos e 300 gramas para Léo Macarrão. Confirmada, portanto, a terceira luta, divisão dos leves, Lightweight Division. Cain Carrizosa e Leonardo Macarrão. Vamos avançando. Vamos para a pesagem da quarta luta, divisão dos leves, Lightweight Division. Vão se enfrentar Leandro Silva e Drew Dober. Para caminhar para a balança, the first on the scale is Mr. Drew Dober.
Drew Dober was a former amateur world Muay Thai kickboxing champion, and he did it all to make ends meet to get to the UFC. He was a painter, an electrician, even a baker baking donuts. Imagine doing that job when trying to cut weight, and he even put himself through community college studying business.
156, 70.7 quilos, 70 quilos e 700 gramas para Drew Dober. Vem aí o seu adversário, and his opponent, Leandro Silva.
Wednesday, don't miss UFC Tonight as middleweight champion Chris Weidman will be our guest co-host. Plus, featherweight champion Jose Aldo and the always outspoken challenger Conor McGregor will be on to discuss their upcoming title fight. UFC Tonight is Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox Sports 1.
Para Leandro Silva. Vai confirmar a quarta luta do card preliminar. Divisão dos leves, Drew Dober e Leandro Silva. Leandro busca pé. Vamos avançando para a quinta luta. Categoria peso pena, Featherweight Division. Vão se enfrentar Kevin Souza e KATSUNORI KIKUNO. O primeiro a caminhar para a balança, the first on the scale is Mr. KATSUNORI KIKUNO.
KATSUNORI KIKUNO, who's known for his lethal arsenal of kicks. He actually studied Kyokushin karate growing up, which does not allow strikes to the head, and that is the competition that led him to develop this arsenal of kicks, and he believes he has a skill set that his opponent has no knowledge of.
$146, 66.2 quilos, 66% para KATSUNORI KIKUNO. E vem aí o seu adversário, and his opponent, Kevin Souza.
Sunday, catch Garbage Time with Katie Nolan as she gives her unfiltered take on the week in sports. That's at 9:30 Eastern, right after the Earthquakes Fire game on Fox Sports 1.
$146, 66.2 quilos para Kevin Souza, 66 quilos e 200 gramas. Categoria peso pena, KATSUNORI KIKUNO e Kevin Souza. Vamos avançando, vamos para a última luta do card preliminar, a pesagem na categoria peso leve, Lightweight Division. Vão se enfrentar Francisco Trinaldo e Akbar Arreola. O primeiro a caminhar para a balança, the first on the scale is Mr. Akbar El Caballero Arreola.
Akbar Arreola finds his roots in Tijuana, Mexico, where he started mixed martial arts altogether. He's got tons of experience, and he brings an awkward style to the table, extremely powerful. I'm watching him at Alliance MMA training, and he's knocking people out with socks on and windbreakers on. It's the weirdest outfit ever, but it works for him.
156, 70.7 quilos, 70 quilos e 700 gramas para El Caballero. E vem aí o seu adversário, his opponent, Francisco Trinaldo Massaranduba.
Francisco Trinaldo originally wanted to be a soccer player but found himself getting into fights at soccer games, so he decided to make a career out of fighting. One little fun side note, this guy can eat. When I mean eat, he actually ate 11 pounds of potatoes after a weigh-in and went on to win the fight.
$155, 70.3 quilos, 70 quilos e 300 gramas para Francisco Trinaldo Massaranduba.
Welcome back to the studio. We are ready to weigh in the fighters on the 6-fight main card, which you can see on Fox Sports 1 Saturday night. Next up, Andre Fili and GODOFREDO. PEPEY, Touchy Fili is up first.
Touchy Fili. He dropped out of college to further focus on his mixed martial arts career. That's similar to myself. And also similar to myself, he states he is nowhere near a degree. That's okay, though. He's kind of goofy, but this guy has a great sense of humor, and he brings a great fight style to the cage also. He made pizza before he started fighting, and he was also voted top 25, under 25 in mixed martial arts, and the #2 prospect in the world. Keep an eye out for Touchy Fili.
As much time as you've been injured, you haven't gotten close to that degree, Dom?
65.8 kilos.
Have you heard of the online
Can't even
school?
spell degree, Stan.
Touchy Fili, though, top 5 in the rankings for sure.
He's awkward ones.
Godofredo PEPEY got off to a rough start, losing 3 of 4 at the beginning of his UFC career, but has since went on to win 2 in impressive fashion, earning himself performance bonuses in both. He attributes that success to hiring a psychologist.
She did just say psychology.
Yes,
right?
she did. I know that kind of stunned you for a
It stunned
second.
me for a second, eyes wide open. That is interesting.
Dominic's not afraid of a little mental exploration.
Well, besides, I mean, look, it looks like he might need it.
145. 145. 65.8 kilos.
He's going to be the one providing the mental health assistance.
I'm not really sure what to say.
That is going to be a fun fight, though.
Yeah, they're going to throw down. That's my sleeper fight of the night right there.
Confirmada a primeira luta do card principal, categoria peso pena, André Fili e Godofredo PEPEY. Vamos avançando para a pesagem da segunda luta. Divisão dos leves, Lightweight Division. Vão se enfrentar Gilbert, Burns e Alex Oliveira. O primeiro a caminhar para a balança, the first on the scale is Mr. Alex Cowboy Oliveira.
Rival teams collide on the new season of The Ultimate Fighter, American Top Team versus Black Zillions, coming April 22nd, only on Fox Sports 1. Now, you know, Alex Oliveira, guys, he comes in late. Josh Thompson was supposed to be facing Durinho tomorrow night, and so this is quite an opportunity making your UFC debut.
Well, I got all excited because I heard on Twitter Burns is going to fight Cowboy. I didn't realize it was this Cowboy, not Cowboy Cerrone.
155, 70.3 kilos para Alex Oliveira, 70 quilos e 300 gramas.
You study his background, he's actually ridden bulls as a job also. Like, that was his job. He was like cowboy.
Yeah,
legit
like
cowboy.
the other Cowboy.
Interesting here, Gilbert Burns, excuse me, multiple-time Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion. His first Jiu-Jitsu lesson came when his father made a deal to repair a customer's vehicle in return for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu lessons for his 3 sons. Look what it turned out to. Gilbert Burns, obviously known for his jiu-jitsu, but having called his fights previously, guys, this, in my opinion, is the guy on this card with the best potential to one day compete for a UFC title and possibly win one. He's that athletic, he's very skilled, his striking is outstanding, and obviously to go with his world-class jiu-jitsu skills.
Yeah, I agree with you. As you see Vitor Belfort up there with him, I first met Durinho a few years back when he was working alongside Vitor. And what I love about him, too, is he's got that big game experience already from being around Vitor. I feel like his mind is in the right place.
Yeah, he is an absolute stud.
154. 154. 69.8 kilos. 69 quilos e 800 gramas para Gilbert Durinho.
Funny thing, too, is when Anthony Rumble Johnson took out Little Nog, Durinho was there with Vitor, and I remember going over them after the fight, and they said, we knew he was going to do that, but just not that fast and not that violently.
The thing nobody knows about Durinho is his wrestling is very underrated. He wrestles, enjoys wrestling, and he's good at it.
Vamos avançando, vamos para a pesagem da terceira luta. Categoria peso galo feminino, Women's Bantamweight Division. Vão se enfrentar Amanda Nunes e SHAYNA BASZLER. A primeira caminha para a balança, Miss SHAYNA, the Queen of States, BASZLER.
After her loss to Betch Kohea, Shayna Baszler decided to enjoy life outside of the octagon a little bit. She still continued to train, but she did some professional wrestling training. She also tried her hand at stunt work and did some sniper instruction.
Yeah, I actually met Shayna in 2008. I was part of the broadcast team covering her fight with Cyborg. She and Josh Barnett rolled in to the fighter meeting, talked to us, and then busted out some of their pro MMA, pro wrestling moves. It was the greatest thing. She's found that love again, I believe. I think she's going to have fun with this fight once again, like she did back in the day.
136. 136.
She had some legit moves. Josh out.
She's a talented woman. Very interesting to speak to. Great personality.
Amanda, a leoa, the lioness, Nunes.
Amanda Nunes. She's one of those girls that just comes and brings the fight to you. Non-stop forward pressure, likes to brawl, and she comes from humble beginnings, a lot like tons of the Brazilian fighters. Very proud of where she comes from and to be representing Brazil. I think she's going to bring a lot to the table for this fight, and I'm looking forward to watching it.
Extremely aggressive fighter as well. In fact, it cost her in her fight against KATSUNORI. For one round, she put it on the former bantamweight title challenger. I mean, this is a girl with a lot of potential. We'll see, because she's got a dangerous matchup. She likes to take her opponents down. You take down Shayna Baszler, and you can get caught really fast in one of those submissions.
136. 61.6 kilos.
Also got lots of experience. She's been fighting since she was 19 years old. She's got 8 knockouts and 1 submission, so she does get those finishes. Not to mention, she's also a competition black belt, very seasoned, which means she earned it in competition.
This is a great fight.
Confirmada, portanto, a terceira luta. Divisão peso galo feminino, Women's Bantamweight Division. Vamos avançando, vamos para a quarta luta do card principal. Categoria peso leve, Lightweight Division. Vão se enfrentar Leonardo Santos e Tony Martin. O primeiro a caminhar para a balança, the first on the scale is Mr. Tony Martin.
Tony Martin wants to make a statement in 2015 after his fight in October. He really wanted to get in the octagon again quick, but he had a little thing called a wedding to attend to. Then it was the holidays. He's been away for longer than he wanted. So when this opportunity, a short notice fight, presented itself, he jumped on it.
156.
And of course, that opportunity presented itself when Ben Saunders got hurt. So, great chance for him here.
Lots of growth. Every time I've seen Tony Martin fight, he continues to get better and better. Santos actually comes from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu family. In fact, his brother, Wagner Fabiano, is also a fellow alumnus of the WEC, Dom. I figured it appropriate to mention that in the show while we're still here. We will never forget. But the most interesting thing that stands out to me for Santos is, while he's had a long mixed martial arts career, it's taken him a long time to develop his striking skills, but he really credits UFC, great Pedro Rizzo as being the teacher who really got through to him the most. He's also extremely active in the favelas of Rio de Janeiro, does a lot of charity work there, which I thought to be really intriguing.
7.7 kilos.
And also very, very close to featherweight champion Jose Aldo. Those two are very tight together, come up together and training. And in fact, Santos kind of looked after Aldo back in the early days.
Now, if I was that tall and I had to spar Jose Aldo, I'd want to be good friends with him too, so he'd stop kicking my legs.
Tony Martin, Léo Santos, vamos para a pesagem da penúltima luta. The co-main event of the evening. Divisão dos meio-médios, welterweight division. Vão se enfrentar Erick Silva e Josh Koscheck. O primeiro a caminhar para a balança, the first on the scale is Mr. Josh Koscheck!
Josh Koscheck is the original short notice fight guy. He's been doing this for years, long before we had guys like Cowboy Cerrone trying to fight 6 and 7 times in a year. Josh Koscheck used to take fights on moment's notice. For this particular fight, he only had 8 days training and 2 sparring sessions after his last fight with Jake Ellenberger. We'll see how that prepares for him tomorrow night.
Proudly rocking the whitey tighties. It's rare.
Very rare.
Old school, keeping it real, Dominic.
I'm sure you like that. That's your day.
Do I? Are you sure of that? Really? Okay, Dom.
Erick Silva has been getting to the roots of his BJJ career and been working with Bruno Frazado, which is a very sharp black belt who's been helping him get sharper and sharper and back to those submissions. He might need it against a seasoned wrestler like Koscheck. He owns 10 first-round finishes. I mean, I think you might want to be careful of this guy in that first round when you're locked in the cage with him. He's been regarded as a top prospect for a long time. Let's see if he can follow through with it.
171.
Yeah, if you want to familiarize yourself with Erick Silva, take a look at the fight he had with Matt Brown. That was just spectacular.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's come, a calling for him to have those first rounds where he's just unbelievable in the first round, then starts to peter out a little bit in round 2. He's going to need a little bit more of that against Josh Koscheck, who will most likely try to out-wrestle him in that first round.
Confirmada a penúltima luta, divisão dos meio-médios, Josh Koscheck e Erick Silva. Senhoras e senhores, ladies and gentlemen, vamos agora à pesagem da luta principal. Vamos ver a preparação de Ryan LaFlare e Demian Maia.
And let's take a closer look at the two fighters battling out in our main event.
I believe that I could beat anybody in the world. I belong here. I feel bad for whoever has to fight me.
Eu tenho certeza que eu vou ter outra chance de disputar o título. Eu vou fazer de tudo para conseguir isso o mais rápido possível.
Ryan LaFlare versus Demian Maia is a fight between two guys in the 170-pound division that have very different styles. Ryan LaFlare is a complete, well-rounded mixed martial arts fighter. Demian Maia, on the other hand, is one of the premier jiu-jitsu artists to ever fight in mixed martial arts.
Eu vou ganhar do Ryan porque eu tenho mais vontade, eu tenho mais desejo de ganhar. Sou atleta top da minha categoria.
He wants to get the fight to the ground. He wants to put you in full mount. I've seen everything he has to offer. I'm no slouch on the ground. I'm not that worried in this fight.
Vai ser excelente que o Ryan falou que ele não tem medo e quer lutar no chão comigo. Esse é o jogo que eu gosto de fazer também. E se ele quer fazer o meu jogo, vai ser ótimo.
I called out Demian Maia. He's a top 10 guy, and I wanted to be in the top 10, so he's just in the way of my dream.
Eu já lutei com outros lutadores que falaram que eu seria um bom teste para eles passarem para um nível mais alto. E eu consegui ganhar de vários desses lutadores.
My goal is to be the UFC champion. I want to show the best Ryan LaFlare, and I think the best Ryan LaFlare could be the best in the world.
Senhoras e senhores, vamos lá então para a pesagem da luta principal, divisão dos meio-médios, welterweight division. Aqui está Mr. Ryan LaFlare.
You know, Ryan LaFlare's wrestled his entire life, which is something that gives him a lot of confidence moving into this fight. Plus the purple belt that he has gives him enough knowledge of the submissions that might be thrown on him. He graduated from Farmingdale State College with a degree in business management. Let's see how his weight looks.
171, 77.5 kilos, 77 kilos.
What makes him very interesting to me for this fight is LaFlare, every single one of LaFlare's fights has been finished until he got to the UFC. And now he's gone the distance every single fight, which gives him so much experience. Tells him he can go the distance, tells him he's in shape under those lights. That's a big thing for him. Not getting those finishes early in his career is going to help him.
Well, LaFlare said in that video he doesn't mind going on the ground with Demian Maia. Maia is the only man ever in the octagon to win 5 straight fights via submission. He is arguably the best submission artist ever to fight inside the octagon. But it's interesting, in a recent interview, he said that the modern mixed martial arts rules make it actually bad for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competitors. It's almost anti-Jiu-Jitsu with the rules in the octagon.
171. 171.
He obviously stating that because when you take a fight on the ground, if you're not active enough, the referee will actually stand you back up. And he says, everybody just tries to stall with me on the mat. So it's going to be up to Demian Maia to integrate his strikes and make sure that he's actively passing the guard and advancing position so that Ryan LaFlare doesn't get that stall and get a stand-up from the referee if he can get him to the mat tomorrow.
Está portanto confirmada a luta principal, divisão dos meio-médios, Ryan LaFlare, Demian Maia, você acompanha.
All right, thank you very much, Hodges, and welcome back to the West Coast. Brian, what can you say about the main event now that we are all weighed in and official?
You know, the biggest thing to me was LaFlare. He looked very comfortable out there, and my big question and the X factor to me in this.